Hello, everyone. Coming to you from Germany, the middle of the week, a Wednesday, a very foggy morning. And I wanted to talk to you about diversity. And it's not the diversity that you're immediately thinking about, I promise you. It has nothing to do with your race, your gender, your religious belief, things that we traditionally understand diversity to be. It is diversity of a different nature. And that diversity that I'm talking to you about is diversity of industry and diversity of a hiring model. Let me explain. So let's talk about diversity of industry, cross-fertilization of ideas. Today's world is undergoing lots of change. You have the companies that are really getting on board with digital and what that means. We've been talking about digital for a decade or two. And then you have companies that are at the forefront of AI, which is another whole world of diversity. And so you get into this world of rapid change. And AI is here already, and it's already changing everything. Matter of fact, here in Germany, they just have in the medical field the digital folio, the digital profile for patients, and that's new. And they introduced, I think a year or two ago, the digital prescriptions. So you've got digital that is happening, and it is changing the world around us and what we do. And so when we talk about diversity, I'm not talking about a diverse character set of people, but what I'm talking about is a diverse company in terms of what industry backgrounds do we have, and then what model do we have. Let's talk industry backgrounds. I'll use myself as an example. I came out of the US, came to Germany, and for the first time worked in the biotech world. Biotechnology, was hired on at QIAGEN, and never worked in biotech before. Started in the digital business solutions team. Matt Anderson was my boss. Love you, Matt. Thank you for the opportunity to prove the point here this morning, and that is, Matt Anderson said, you don't need to have biotech background experience for this job. You've got two of the other three legs, and that third leg, the biotech, you'll get that. I'm a quick study, clock speed's fast, and sure enough, within a short time, I'm delivering value. And so I was appreciative of his ability to see the fact that you need a diversity in the workforce, and to accept the fact that you can come in from a different industry and add value. And so that is rule number one, is you need a good cross-fertilization of ideas. And I brought that with me. Came up with a number of different approaches and delivered value. Kelly Smith will also tell you that I delivered value. And then Jose Gavilanes, I believe, also could confirm that. So I'm speaking about results, and it's not just a fluffy idea. The other diversity factor is the model. And I'll take business consultancies, right? They hire MBAs out of a top MBA business school, and they put them to work in their consultancy. And so they come in with a model of employee that they're looking to hire and then to equip and put out there into the field. And that model has worked well for them over the years. But everything is changing now in today's world, and that model is just not going to hold up especially as things change from a digital perspective and AI and the experience that's going to be needed to be able to make that transition for companies, and that's who they're consulting. And this is my take on it. And so many companies, and I'm picking on the consultancies right now, and having worked at Deloitte, I understand from what I'm speaking about, is that companies generally like to hire to a model. You'll see how many job ads that are out there looking for someone who has 10, 15, 20 years in the pharma business, or has in the food business 10, 15, 20 years experience. And they're looking for that model, or you've got, 15, 20 years in sales. Wait, okay, but maybe you could find a great candidate outside the model of, they have to have 15, 20 years sales experience, managing a team, carrying a budget. If you found someone, maybe it was in marketing for 10 years, they were a product manager for 5, and they only had 5 years experience in sales. Maybe that's a candidate. Doesn't have to be 15 or 20, and you automatically disqualify them because you're cutting your head off. There could be piles of great candidates out there that you're going to miss. And so I believe the cutting edge companies of today, not talking about tomorrow, today and tomorrow, are going to be the companies that can recognize the diversity that I'm talking to you about. So that is diversity in a model that you're choosing and thinking outside the box, and then diversity in a industry background. What relatable, transferable skills are there that I can then bring into my company? I'll give you another great example as we close out this chat. Daryl Gresham, who I worked with in commercial excellence at QIAGEN, actually worked for him back when he was at Abbott. I believe it was Abbott. He hired someone into the biotech field that came out of selling photocopiers, copy machines. Right, the guy sold copy machines. So what the hell does a photocopier guy know about the biotech world and selling diagnostic equipment instruments into a hospital? Please, someone to tell me that. Well, Daryl saw exactly what I'm talking to you about. Has everything to do with those translatable skill sets, cross-fertilization of ideas. This particular individual made President's Club year 1. Let that sink in. A copier salesman moved over to Abbott, selling capital equipment, made President's Club year 1. So, outside of me being a good example, there are piles of other industry leaders out there that also understand the diversity example that I'm talking to you about. And I would love for you to just sit back, especially all of you HR managers, hiring managers that are out there, and take a moment and allow this diversity conversation to sink in, and rewrite those job descriptions, and open your mind up to candidates that could really bring something to your company and help create the future, as the future is so dadgum foggy right now with everything in flux. And you need that right talent across industries with new ideas that are breaking the model mold that you have, the talent model mold, and bringing in your future, the future of tomorrow. So that is my challenge to you. Happy Wednesday, and I will see you on the flip side.